Hello, everyone. I hope everybody can hear me. Ladies and gentlemen, I take this opportunity to welcome you all to the Let's Talk family. My name is Hridhaan. I am one of your trainers on Let's Talk Academy, on this wonderful platform, wonderful channel that we have. Uh, Before we get started, I just want to make sure that my voice is clear. Can we have some comments, please, from the chat box? Can you pull out some comments and see if my voice is clear? Could you please type yes, a wonderful family, if my voice is clear in the chat box? Thank you very much. Oh, excellent. Thank you, Shiv. Thank you. Seems like my voice is clear. Lovely. Guys, I would like to take this opportunity to talk to you about a very important news today. And that is, there is going to be another trainer who's going to be joining us today on this live streaming. And you all know her name. She is a very famous, a visionary woman that I know of, a very good friend, as a matter of fact. Her name is Michelle. It's going to be her first live, as a matter of fact. But before we get into calling Michelle and etc., I'd like to take this opportunity to talk about the three most important agendas that we have for today. Ladies and gentlemen, there are three top agendas for today. The first thing that we're going to be discussing is we'll welcome Michelle and we'll ask a couple of important questions in relation to her career. We'll talk about her journey. She's going to be asking me a couple of questions as well. This is solely because a lot of people love her, and we really want her to tell a little bit about herself to all of us. So this is going to be the first agenda. In the second agenda, we're going to be talking about the hacks, tips, and tricks of remembering new words in English. A lot of times people find a lot of troublesome affairs about, understanding. Sometimes people say, Hridhaan, it's very easy for me to learn words, but I'm not able to have the reminiscence of it with the passage of time. And this is what we're going to be catering to in times to come. We're going to be talking about it. Michelle is going to be telling her personal tricks that she has about this particular component, this particular question, a very important question. And I myself, Hridhaan, is going to be also talking about it too. We're also going to be pulling out a component of Advanced English Communication course as part of an example here. So stick around with us because a lot of important games are coming up and we really want each one of you to participate with us. So please be there. In the third agenda for the day today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about your questions and our answers. So we're going to be pulling out comments from the comment chat box. Do make sure that you rock the chat box and ask a lot of important questions that you have pertaining to English language. And this is what we'll make sure that Michelle and I answer to the best of our capacity and honor. These are the top three agendas for today. Before we move forward, I just want to take this opportunity to chats. What are super chats? There is an icon right in front of the video below, which is more like a dollar icon that you can see. This icon is primarily for chatting with us personally. It is a sweet and a nice way to support our channel and the valuable work that we hope we do for each one of you out there. Okay, today is clear. It is now time to rock the chat box and welcome Michelle with us, ladies and gentlemen. Before I call Michelle, I just want to make sure that if you like this video, if you enjoy this video, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe this video with your friends, family, and acquaintances. Okay, without waiting further, let's welcome Michelle with us tonight. Michelle, are you there with us?
Hello. Hello,
Michelle.
everybody. So I'm so thrilled. This is my first live session, and I want to know if you all can actually hear me all right. So I'm just going to check the comment boxes and see if you can hear me all right. Can we have some yeses from you guys?
Excellent. Seems like yes, we can see the comment spots below.
Yes.
Michelle, wishing you a very warm welcome
that's
on
lovely.
your very first.
Okay.
Wishing you a very warm welcome on your very first live stream. How are you feeling? How are you doing
Thank you
today?
so much. I am hunky dory, feeling absolutely well and super excited. So, yes, guys, thank you for welcoming me. And I'm so glad that we all can actually see each other because we're in the middle of a pandemic. People around the world are going through a very difficult time. And it's amazing to see that we're safe. So, I
Totally.
want to remind you and I want to reiterate that please stay safe and follow all the precautions so that you and others around you can stay safe as well. So, thank you so much. Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much, Michelle. We're very, very happy to see you for the first
Yeah.
time here. Um, you, it is not an unknown fact. You're quite well abreast with the fact that a lot of subscribers love you to the core of their soul. And they are your fans, they are your followers. You are
I
inspiration
love
to
them
all of
too.
these people. You're
Yeah.
inspiration to all of these people. Before we get started, I just want to ask you a very important question. Why did you choose to become a teacher of English, a linguist? What could you tell a little bit about your journey to us all, please, today?
Yes, sure. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk about my experience. So, the reason I'm a teacher is because I love people and I love interacting with others. And I think this is the job that allows us to build bonds and build relationships. So, that's the first reason I chose to be an English teacher. And yeah, I definitely have a passion for English. And when I was younger, I knew that communication skills were my forte. I was very comfortable presenting myself and, talking to people. So definitely that's the reason I picked up this profession and I think I'm enjoying it to the core. And I love the fact that people are actually learning from me. And thank you for your comments where you talk about, your experience learning English with me is great. So thank you. Yes, that's the reason. How
Excellent.
about you? Why did you become an English teacher though?
I think our journey is quite similar, Michelle. Um,
Yeah.
I think when you really have a love for something, uh, I think all the forces in the universe kind of pull you towards that particular segment. And I think I always enjoyed learning about English, always speaking in the most immaculate way possible in whichever room I go to. So
Yeah.
I have that. I have that. Zeal inside of me to be one of those finest communicators that ever existed out there. And I think I'm just blessed that I had one of the best teachers in the world while I was
Yeah.
growing up, and teachers not just who were good who were good facilitators, but also who were good gurus for that matter. They helped
Yeah.
me not just understand about English, but also they helped me gather so much of inspiration from their personalities that it just molded me into uh, not just a better person, but also understanding into my dreams as to what exactly I want to do in times to come. And I'm just grateful that I'm a part of this industry and contributing with you towards this very important cause that we have, which is learning English. So
Yes,
that's my plan.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen that a lot of people in the comments are actually asking us to speak in Hindi. So I'd say कि मुझे हिंदी बोलनी बहुत अच्छे से आती है और आप लोगों ने LearnX पर मेरी बहुत सारी videos भी देखी है. But at this time, हम लोग ये video, we are watching it at Let's Talk where we have international audience and not everybody understands Hindi. So for that reason, because we are at Let's Talk, we're going to use English as our medium of communication. So stay around. We will make sure that it's easy for you to understand. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent,
Yeah.
totally. This takes me to the second question, Michelle. And the
Yes.
second question is a lot of people, we've had a lot of people, especially on the online communication courses that we've had lately. After March, I want to tell you the entire gamut of experience changed, and you're quite abreast yourself about this particular component. That entire education system moved online, and we've had a lot of students who ask how to become a teacher of English just exactly like you. And I think this is a very important question that I'm sure you can answer in the best possible way.
Sure.
Could you please help us understand what does it take to become a teacher of English and one of the finest communicators that you are?
Yeah, sure. So, for all those people who are aspiring to be an English teacher, I'd like to start with my journey. So I'm a CELTA qualified teacher, and that means I have the certificate in English language teaching to adults. So that's the first step. If you want to start teaching English, you need to grab a CELTA, which is a certificate in English language teaching. I'm also pursuing my Delta right now, which is a diploma in the same field. And yeah, I think that's what you essentially need. If you want to get into teacher training, you could also get a Cambridge teacher training course, which I have as well. So that makes me a sort of teacher and a combination of teacher trainer. So
Exactly.
yeah, that's my journey. And if you want to have one, then you should right away get a CELTA. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Couldn't agree more with you on that. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okie dokie. So this was, ladies and gentlemen, the first part, the first segment of our discussion today. Let's quickly jump into the session and let's not make our audience wait tonight. Uh, Before we get started, Michelle, I've got a very important question for you. Are you ready?
Yep, for sure.
Okay, so the question is, do you struggle remembering new words?
Oh, indeed. Who doesn't? If I
Absolutely.
don't say a word at least 7 or 8 times, I don't think
Right.
I can remember it. Yeah, or unless I make a note. What do you think? What do you think we can actually do to help our audience remember words? Because this is what we're going to talk about essentially today. So, what's your first sort of strategy or trick to overcome this problem?
Certainly, please. Well, thank you very much for. I was wondering that I'm going to ask this question to you, but since you asked this first, I just respect
Yeah,
that. Yes,
yeah.
please. I just respect that. I think um, before I answer, I just want to point out, ladies and gentlemen, this is the just reiterating with what Medha said, Michelle said from the foregone discussion. Uh, is how to remember new words. And the first thing that we're going to be talking about is learning theme based vocabulary. Now, a lot of you must be wondering what is theme based vocabulary for that matter? Uh, it basically includes and talks about the components of not learning random words. It
Yep.
is a very important point here, which is what we're going to be elaborating on. Michelle and I are going to be elaborating on in a little while. It also means not learning random words. For example, if you're watching a film or not watching a film, if you're, let's say, reading a book somewhere and a word pops up. So a lot of times people kind of think that if they remember it, understand the root of it, etc., it'll help them remember and recall and have the reminiscence of that word with the passage of time in a better way. But unfortunately, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's learning from the context basically means learning from your environment. It also
Mm.
means learn the usage of that particular word in real conversation. And you must be wondering, what exactly is Hridhaan talking about here? Well, let's quickly take an example. For example, if there's a word, there's a sentence called to praise yourself too much. It's right there on
Mhm.
the screen down below in front of us. To praise yourself too much.
Yeah.
Michelle, would you know what is that speaking style when people praise themselves too much?
I think I am guilty of doing that as well. And yeah,
Okie
I
dokie.
praise myself too much. I guess I need to work on it. So yeah, I'd say that I brag a lot, or probably I could say that I boast a
Mhm.
lot. Yeah. So for me, it could be either brag or boast. One of these. Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
Correct, correct,
I'm
correct. Thank you
right.
very much. Another important question for you, Michelle. Uh, yes, another important question for you. You win, you get 1 point. All right. Next important question. When somebody forces someone to do something,
Mhm.
when somebody forces the other person to do something, what is
Yeah.
that speaking style?
Um.
Let's
Okay.
look into the
What
chat box. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody, we need to
favorite
rock the
from the
chat box.
audience?
Let's
Yes,
do that together.
absolutely. Let's hear it from you. What's the word that you use when somebody forces you to do something? Let's look at the options we've got.
We have some people
So,
saying
interestingly,
to
yeah,
compel as well.
uh-huh,
Want.
yeah,
Very interesting. Jyoti says want.
hmm,
Okay, that's a nice word.
compel. That's nice. Yeah,
Suman
that's the
says
one I was
compel.
thinking of.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's a
pressurize. Yeah,
Raji, Sneha says insist. Hi, Sneha. Chandan says
Oh,
coerced. Interesting. Well,
yeah,
can I tell? Actually, Chandan wins here because the
yeah.
word that we have today for this particular is coerced. When you force
Coerce. Yeah,
somebody to do something, we call it coerce. Absolutely. Okay, let's look at
yeah.
the
And I
second
think,
last one. Okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Please
yeah.
continue.
I think
Yeah.
all the other words are still correct, but coerce is
Totally.
probably a better option. Yeah, all the other words are correct, so
Absolutely.
you could use either of them. Yeah, but just this is our answer. So yeah,
Certainly, certainly. And I think one of the
yeah.
important pointers that we could also talk about here is coerce is often when people are in aggressive mode of their personalities,
Mm,
Michelle, and then
yeah.
they are going to force, they're forcing the other person. Anyway, let's look at the next option that we have. The next one is when you cry in pain. For example, you've bruised yourself and you're crying in pain. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, let's rock the chat box again. What do you think is the word here?
Let's get it from them.
Michelle, would you like to read some comments here, please?
Yes, sure. I am looking at them. I am trying to read some comments. Yep. Hmm.
We have many comments there. My God. It's
Yep. We do
dancing.
have some new comments. Sorrow. Yeah. Crying in pain. Yeah, that's what we feel actually. We feel sorrowful. Enforcement. I think that's for a previous one. Oh, we have a good word here by Ashi Singh. It's groan. Yeah, groan. Groan would be what I was thinking
Interesting.
actually.
Very good.
Yeah, groan
Excellent. Thank you very
probably.
much.
So was
Thank you,
my
Ashi.
word. Thank God.
Right, right. So the
Oh,
word,
there we
in fact, is grown. So Ashi wins, and I just follow with what Michelle said before. All the words are right, but of course, the better choice here goes to grown. Let's now move to the last one. Everybody, are you ready? All the people, let's talk family. Here we go. The last one is when you complain excessively. For example, if you're somebody who's like, Paco, 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 all the time complaining about things, what do you think it is?
Ah, okay. I think everybody's guilty of that, isn't it? Well, let's hear it from them. What have they got
Oh
it?
man, this.
Especially if
Right.
you're at your workplace, people complain a lot.
Certainly,
Yeah.
certainly, absolutely they
So what
do.
have we got today? To complain excessively. I'd say it's a word that starts with G. Maybe I could give you another hint.
Okay.
So a word that starts with G.
Can I make a guess maybe? Although
Yeah,
I'm the one
sure,
who actually
sure.
picked it up, but generally I don't know the answer to this question. But what about other comments, guys? We are waiting for the comments. Hello? I,
Absolutely. Oh, somebody said nitpicking or chatterbox.
Neha says
Irritated.
irritated.
Grouch. Yeah, we've got interesting words.
Oh wow.
Nagging. Yeah, I think
Miss Z
quite
says
a few of
nagging.
them.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yama. Shivani says yama. Interesting. Wow. Abhilasha says cavo. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Annoying is more like a disposition of the person. All righto, guys.
I
Grumpy.
hope they're
Thank
not
you.
looking at Google.
I hope so too. All right. But I'm really
Yeah.
surprised, Michelle, that I believe that all of these people must be watching a lot of your videos on vocabulary. They have such great vocabulary. My God. Okay, so
Or
the
maybe
answer to
yours.
this question. Yes, yes. So the answer to this question, Michelle.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna make a guess. You please tell me if that's right or not. Okay. I
Mm.
would say I think grumble. Yeah.
I think you should be planning.
Yes. All right.
Hey,
It's
we
more like who
tell
wants
them
to be
it's
a
not
millionaire?
planned because it sounds like it's planned and we know all the answers.
Yeah.
This is not fair.
No,
We've not planned this.
we haven't. We haven't planned that. Yes,
We're just having a fun session with each other and you
absolutely.
guys.
Right. Because the fact that you said G and the closest to me when I was thinking about it was complain, and I was just kind of correlating with it. So I thought grumble genuinely, no cheating. Okay,
Yeah.
and this is to Michelle, no cheating. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, what we're now going to do is thank you very much for playing this little bit sort of activity here. We're now going to play a very interesting game. In this game,
Yeah.
we're now going to be
With you all.
looking at we're now going to be looking at 8 words which are right there in front of the screen in front of us. Please do have a look. All we have to do is look at these 8 words and put them in 2 different categories. Are they loud or are they soft? Michelle, let's look at the first one together. Mumble.
Yep.
Which category do you think this word goes to?
Okay, mumble. Well, I think it's got to do with soft. Yeah, I think that's right.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, there we go.
Interesting.
And
Good.
what about the
Absolutely. Okay, the next question. Thank you very much. Sorry, you're saying something.
Yeah, let's hear it from the audience.
Let's look at the next word that we have. Yes, please, from the audience. Shriek. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think this word belongs to? Which category does it belong to? Hello, loud, or soft? Okay, I'm just going to gesticulate it for you, all right? Loud is like, this is loud. Which do you think, which category do you think that it belongs to? It certainly belongs to the loud category, ladies and gentlemen. So shriek
Yeah.
belongs to the loud category. Okay, everybody, next word, murmur. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to hear it from you. Let's have a look at the chat box. Which category does murmur belong to? We are talking about speaking volumes, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the middle of a live stream session with Michelle and Hridhaan on Let's Talk, and we are playing a very interesting game, and we are talking about speaking volumes. Here are 8 speaking volumes, words that we use for speaking volumes. Which category does murmur belong to? Okay, I can see a lot of comments. People are saying it belongs to the soft category. That's the right answer. Everybody, yes, murmur is soft. Okay,
Yes.
let's quickly do this. Michelle, what do you think is the next one? Yeah.
Yell is undoubtedly loud. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Certainly. The next one, guys, it's your turn now. Michelle has answered it. Scream. Okay, we have a lot of comments coming in. Wow. Interesting. Loud, soft, loud, soft. Yes, we can see Raja's comments. Anjali's comment. Yes, yes, you guys are right. It belongs to the loud category. The next one is an interesting one because a lot of people do not know about it already. Mutter. Everybody, which do you think mutter belongs to? Michelle, would you like to help our audience? Which do you think?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I want to confuse them right now. I would just want to confuse them and ask them, is it loud or being quiet? But let me instead help by saying that muttering is a sort of soft voice when you're not speaking something loudly. There we go.
Absolutely, absolutely. And whisper that a lot of people can guess already belongs to the soft category. And finally, we have shout, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree on it belongs to the loud category. Ladies and gentlemen, did you guys observe what did we just do? We were learning vocabulary in context. We were learning vocabulary from a theme. And let me tell you, this theme, I picked this theme up from Advanced English Communication course that we run on Let's Talk. And a very important course. And I'm sure I can see a lot of people who are already a part of that course already in the chat box here. I have the chat boxes there. Yes, a lot of people are answering who come from the Advanced English Communication course already, who have done this session. Guys, what did we just do? We learned vocabulary from context. And the context was speaking styles, groan, grumble, etc. Speaking volumes was shriek, mutter, murmur. All of that was nothing but learning vocabulary in context. And this was the first point that we wanted to discuss. The first point when we wanted to discuss about learning vocabulary in context as one of the tips and tricks that you can use to learn vocabulary faster and remember it for a long, long passage of time. So this was number 1. Let us now play a very interesting game. Okay, all we have to do is put all of these words that we just played in the right sentences. So we have 5 sentences right in front of us, ladies and gentlemen. All we have to do is, guys, everybody in the chat box, this is for us, okie dokie. We have to put all of these words in 5 different sentences that we have below. Let's do number 1 together as an example. Get out, she. What do you think is the answer here? Get out, she.
Screamed, I guess.
Absolutely, that's totally right. Scream also has another brother, and that is shout. Thank you very much,
Shouted.
Michelle, for the answer. Because they both belong to the same category. shout and scream. So
So
shout
we could
your
have
horse,
either.
scream.
Yeah.
Certainly. Guys, okay, let's get started. I have the clock right in front of me. We're going to take 30 seconds to put all of these words in the right sentences. So, what you do is please do not send an answer on a snap like that. Please put all your answers in one message and then press enter and then send it. All right? So, the time starts
Yes.
now. Only 30 seconds, everyone. Let's
Be
get
sure
started.
to number it as 2, 3, 4, and 5.
And then we'll see whose answer is correct here.
Yeah,
These
this should
are
be
different
exciting.
speaking volumes. Another
I
important suggestion that I'd like to give is please make sure that you put the word in the right tense. For example, the past of shout is shouted, so make sure it's correct tense. Michelle, I'm having a lot of fun. How about you?
Yes, so am I. And I love the fact that everybody's got so many answers. And I love the fact that they're learning and we're learning from them as well. Yeah.
So it's a two-way street. I can see so many
Indeed.
comments already. My God, people are so fast.
Yeah, they are.
Excellent. Excellent. My God. Good. Good. Guys, we're very proud of you. Excellent. Let's discuss the answers now. Time's up. What's number 2? Please stop, dash, and try to speak more clearly. Let me give you a hint. The word starts with M. The answer is please stop mumbling and try to speak more clearly. Number 3, hint is Y. You must be like, we already know the answer now. It's yelled. And a lot of people are like, they might as well have written, I can see in the comments box, yell is an answer from a lot of people. Guys, it is yelled. The past of yell, the past form, yell. Number 4 here that we have is shrieked. Absolutely, I can see from the comments box. Lovely. Michelle, would you like to pick a comment for the last one, please?
Yeah. So yeah, I think somebody's already answered. Somebody called Virat, I guess. He said she whispered the answer in my ear. I think that's the
Excellent.
one. Yeah.
Absolutely,
Well
that's
done,
right.
Virat.
Lovely, lovely. Guys, congratulations. A lot of people answered all of it absolutely correctly. And please do not feel sad if yours wasn't all intact. It's all a part of the learning curve, it's all a part of learning it together. This was all about the first tip that I wanted to suggest that Michelle had asked myself. Michelle, I now leave the discussion to
Yep.
you. Which do you think is the second tip that you would like to give to our learners and participants today?
Yes. So my second tip would be that whenever you learn one word, think of the related words. For example, yeah, we have the word siblings. So siblings is the people who are related to you. Yeah. So whenever you learn a word, think of related words. It could be stuff like synonyms, which means words that have the same meaning as that word. It could be antonyms, which is words that have the opposite meaning as that word. And the last one is suffixes or prefixes, which means word startings or word endings. Now, this can get a little bit confusing and overwhelming. So, what we'll do is we'll look at our first example and try to do it together. So, let's look at our first word, which is cold. Now, I want you guys to tell me some synonyms, which is words that have the same meaning as the word cold. So, here we go. I'm looking at the chat box and waiting for synonyms of the word cold. Hridhaan, looks like you have something on your mind. You do, right?
Yes. The moment you said cold, I was like, okay, there could be chili. We could have chili, something which is like really, really cold. And I think this was one of the words that I spoke about in one of the videos as well. So I quickly kicked.
Yeah. I'm just going to look at the comments. Chilled. Yes, that's a very good example. Freezing. Perfect. So we've already got 2 really good words. Freezing, freezed, chilled. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Freeze chill, or maybe freezing chill by Pallavi. Okay, we have the 2 words here. One is bone chilling cold. So, for example, if it's extremely cold and the air is hitting you, you could say that it's bone chilling cold today, or the wind is bone chilling. So that's a good phrase to use. And the other would be freezing, which many of you have come up with. So what did we do? We just looked at siblings of a simple word, which is cold, but we took our vocabulary to the next level by making it sound more advanced. So yeah, I think that's one way we've tried it. Now let's do it with another word. Let's look at the antonym of the word cold, which is hot. Now, can you think of some synonyms of the word hot? What other words could you use in place of hot? Let's have it. So I'm waiting in the chat box again.
It looks like my test. The moment you say I start to think myself.
Yeah. Yeah, warm. Okay, somebody, Minakshi Rawat has said warm. Thank you, Minakshi. That's absolutely correct. That's a good word. Maybe sort of softer way to say that it's hot. Maybe it's not as hot, so you'd say it's quite warm today. Yep, that's absolutely correct. Humid. Yeah, humid is when it's sweltery, sort of hot, and as well as you feel, the sweat all over you. Scorching. Yes, that's one of my words. So scorching is a word that you could use. Heat. Here we have our answers, which is simmering up and scorching. So simmering up could be used for cooking actually. So for example, if you're cooking some soup for dinner, you could say that, so the soup is simmering up right now, which means it's heating up and it'll take a while to be ready. And then you have scorching, which you can use for the weather. So you could say that it's scorching hot today, or the wind is scorching, whatever way you like. So once again, just some siblings, and now you have more words in your vocabulary bag. And now I'm going to do the last one, which is a suffix. We'll try out a suffix together. So let's look at the word educate. So, what I want you to do is, I want you to add something at the end of this word. Let me give you an example. So, you could add ed, maybe not e, but only d, and say educated, which means a person who knows a lot and has some knowledge. So you could say he's an educated person. Now I want you to come up with some suffixes, some word endings that could help you make more words from the word educate. Let's have it from you. Well, we already have some answers.
Many
This is
comments already.
quick. Yeah, we have education. That's one. Educational. Mhm. Perfect, Ishita. And any more? What do you think, Hridhaan? What's on your mind?
Um, I think I have a lot of words, but I'm not sure if this is on your list or not. I think education is what you've spoken. I think
Yeah.
educative,
Educative. Yeah, I think that's a good word. Yeah,
educative might as
that should be
well.
okay. Yeah. Let's look at the answers now. Thank you everybody for commenting. Educator, education, educational. All of that's perfect. Now we have educate, which is the verb, and then we have educated,
Hmm.
adjective, which told us, and now we have education, which is the noun. So simply, we just added a few word endings and we made three new words out of a simple word, educate, which is the verb. So my suggestion to you all would be, think of suffixes, think of prefixes. This is going to help you build your vocab. So we're talking about word building here. And when you want to build words, you need to think of siblings or you need to think of related words. So that'll be my tip for you. Now I'm going to push it over to Hridhaan and let you talk about your next tip. What do you have in mind which can help our audience?
Certainly, certainly.
Yes.
Uh, I think that was a very First of all, before I move forward, thank you very much. I think that was a very interesting one because while growing up, I used to find it really hard myself to kind of, increase my vocabulary bank. And I think this was one of the things that I did that my teachers not just always kept on reiterating, but I naturally did organically in order to kind of help myself get better at vocabulary building. Thank you very much for that tip. Very important there.
You're
I
most
think
welcome.
welcome. I think the next tip that I have, Michelle, is called the monthly calendar tip and trick, ladies and gentlemen. It's called maintaining a monthly calendar. A lot of you must be wondering as to what exactly a monthly calendar is. A monthly calendar is maintaining a short journal, basically. In this journal, you divide the month in 30 days. The first 26 days, you actually divide all of these days according to the letters of the alphabetical system that we have: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, until Z. So Z or Z. So every day, the whole agenda is that you give your entire concentration to just one word. For example, the first day, 1st of September, which was yesterday, start the word, you start the day by learning a word that starts with A. For example, if there's a word that is, uh, mm, let's say, affluent. Affluent is a word that I'd like to put in the journal that I've created for myself, understanding what exactly it means. It basically means somebody who has who is quite well established, etc., etc. And then comes the next day, and then comes the next day, B, C, D, and it continues to grow on until the 26th of the month. Now, a lot of you must as well be wondering what to do in the last 4 days of the month that are left after the 26th day. In that day, I would personally choose to revise all the words that I have noted down in my content calendar, in my monthly calendar of my vocabulary, but also make sure that you use it in daily life conversation. Not just write it down, but also make sure that if you have a meeting, you use a meeting. If you have, or you need not write, you need not have, let's say, a diary, a physical diary for that. You can, as a matter of fact, put it on your phone, on a notepad. You can maintain that monthly calendar of the vocabulary on a notepad on your phone. Everybody has an Android phone today. So I think this is one of the tricks that helped me personally speaking, understanding and getting better at vocabulary and strengthening the base of my vocabulary to uh, to to uh, to another level, most importantly. And I think that is what people ask a lot of times. So you've got a very good vocabulary. So what happens? How did you do that? Well, the secret is I have always maintained a monthly calendar and it has continued to grow. Do I have to use all the words out of it? No. I only have to use words that fit the context. I only have to use words that are right for that particular situation. And this brings me to the end of this very important trick and tip and hack about getting better at vocabulary, which is maintaining a monthly calendar. Michelle, what do you think about this hack?
I think you've hit the nail on the head because I think the main issue is that people struggle with recording words, and maintaining a monthly calendar would give you two things. It would help you record the word,
Mhm.
and it would also help you remember it. And I think I just add that it's always important to go back and look at the words that you've written. Do that regularly, probably at the end of the week
Right.
on the seventh day. Go back and read the words again so that you can recycle your vocabulary, which is how you make it a part of your daily conversation. Because,
Correct.
sources say that until you read or come across the word 7 times, you will not remember it or will not make it a part of your vocab. So I'd say that make an attempt to reread your words and make it a part of your vocab. Hey, we have a comment from Sangeeta, which is you're attending
I
a live
see.
class for the first time. That's lovely. Thank you, Sangeeta. Oh, someone talent window. Interesting name has already maintained that. I think that's pretty cool. Uh, yeah, I think you guys can learn idioms and phrases in monthly calendar. That's true. Ridan, would you like to elaborate on that a little bit?
Certainly, please. Thank you, Ms. Nada, for this question. The question is, can we learn idioms and phrases in monthly calendar? I think, yeah, not just word. It's a very important point that Lakshay has actually pointed out. Uh, Not just a single word. You can actually pick a collocation. You can collocations are the arrangement of words in a certain pattern, in a certain style. You could also pick up idioms for that matter, as Nada goes on to say. You can also take phrases as well for that matter. For example, just recently I added a word to my monthly calendar, and that was play it by ear. Play it by ear, although I've been using it for a very long time, but I wanted to make sure that I use it all the more. And so I added it to my, and it is one of the interesting advanced English phrases that we used to talk about. Anything that
Yeah.
goes with the flow, and that is played by ear. So that was about content monthly calendar. Michelle, would you like to move on to the next hack?
Yes, sure. And I think about this one, I'm pretty excited because I'm going to share my personal secret of what I do. So, I'm a busy person and I don't have so much time to really record things by writing. So, what I do is I voice record things. Yeah. So, I don't write, but I voice record things. I think writing is awesome if you have time. But what I would do generally is just pick up my phone and say the word and record it there. Now, this kills two birds with one stone. What you can do is you have the word with you in your phone so you can listen to it anytime. Basically, you can listen again to your entire list. So even on your go. And the second thing that it does is you get the idea of the pronunciation, which I think is key because a lot of people would learn words but not really know how to pronounce it. And I think that can bring some embarrassment. I think you'd agree with that. That can really be a little sad sometimes.
Totally.
So, yeah, I'd say that it'll be good for you if you record words in your voice. You'll have it on the go and you will also know the pronunciation. Now let's look at one example to try and understand how can we actually pronounce this word better. So I would like you guys to tell me in the comments, where would you put the stress? Would you put the stress on so, as in sophisticated, or would you put the stress on feel by saying sophisticated? Now let's have it from you, so or feel. You can write either of them in the comments. I am reading it. Please write. Hridhaan, you are trying to tell them the answers. Okay. Yes, I'm still waiting for the answers. Can you see some?
I can see. Oh my God. It's like the comment section is
Wait.
dancing today, huh?
Flooded. Yeah, it's flooded.
Good.
It's like pouring. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, I think a few people have already told us, like Herleen, know about, interesting name, Aditya Kiran, and learn, create. So yeah, I think a lot of you have come up with the answers, and the answer is fee. That's right. So you'd say sophisticated and not sophisticated. So do you see how much difference that makes? It actually makes you comprehensible, which means somebody can understand you when you pronounce the word and stress it accurately. So that's my tip for you. Voice record your words on your phone, on the go, wherever you come across them, so that you can get your pronunciation right and have the words with you. Now, with that, I want to say one more thing. Since I make good use of my phone, I don't just voice record it, I also take screenshots. So, for example, if I am watching a movie or watching a show and I come across a nice phrase, what I do simply is just take a screenshot. Yeah, like this one. Well, here's to going an offense. So, what do we mean by going an offense? Can somebody write that? This is more like an idiomatic phrase. So, going an offense. Let's hear it from you. Who has to say it?
Okay, Amit's
So,
already commented.
yeah,
Okie
let's hear it
Other
from you
people
all.
have
The meaning
to
of going on an offense. Think about it. Going on an offense. It's more like an action. It's more like, sort of entering into something, a sort of war, right? Yes, that's what it means. So entering into a war or entering into a full fight for something. So I think if you want to think of an example, you could probably say that the world is going on an offense against COVID-19, which means that we are all going against it and we're all fighting, waging a full war against it. So that's what it means, going on an offense. Now, we have a few comments, which is very interesting. A few people have talked about that they take screenshots, and one of them has 500 screenshots in their vocab. I think, yes, we've lost Hridhaan for the moment, which is okay. So you can stay tuned to me. We'll have him back very soon. Sorry for the technical glitch. But yes, so that's my main point, that if you have screenshots in your vocab, in your phone album, what you have with you is a whole dictionary in your phone, which is your own personalized dictionary. Thank you for coming back, Hridhaan. So yes, that's my point. Record your voice, take screenshots, keep it handy in your phone, and I think that way it's going to be easy for you to review the words and record the words both. So yeah, that's my personal tip. I'm a busy person. That's what I do, and I think you guys should do the same thing. Yep. So you want to take it on from here, Hridhaan?
I
Yes.
loved this
Yeah.
tip, Michelle. Personally speaking, and do you know why? Primarily because
Yeah.
a lot of people, because today television has completely changed. We do not have
Yeah.
channels like the way we used to have before. And today, as a matter of fact, people choose to prefer watching films on OTT platforms, and they can just quickly look at the transcript and the dialogues right on the screen. And I think
Yep.
this is a very important trick, because the moment they're watching and they're also having the concentration on the dialogues that are being said, they can quickly take the screenshot of it and maintain an album in their photo gallery. which is all about take, let's say idioms or phrases from English language, which can as well be called as take screenshots. Great. Thank you very much. Lovely. Hey, Chutkala, we can see
Yeah.
Chutkala here. Good.
Yeah.
Chutkala is, Michelle Chutkala is one of the participants on Advanced English Communication course that we have.
Lovely.
We are very happy to see you,
Hello,
Chutkala.
Chitkala.
Excellent.
Yeah, and we
Lovely.
also have another phrase with us here, another screenshot, which is that what it's like to have a tough conversation. So I think we should brainstorm once more and let's hear it from you. What do you mean by having a tough conversation? Is it about having a conversation that you're comfortable with or a conversation that you're uncomfortable with? You can choose one of them and let us know in the comments. I am waiting. Comfortable or uncomfortable conversation?
Many
Huh.
messages coming up.
Hridhaan, what do you think? Yeah, we've got some amazing comments.
So many messages. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Correct. Lovely.
Yeah, so Talent Window
Amazing.
is still with us, and he says, or she says, uncomfortable. And Shivani Patel also says uncomfortable. Some of you said comfortable. Well, the answer actually is uncomfortable. So if you think it's more like a synonym of Parth Patel, thank you, comfortable, but it's actually uncomfortable, which is what Learn, Create, and Have Fun has said. So yeah, so basically it's sort of a synonym of tough. Again, if you guys think, we're talking about synonyms and related words. So if you think of the word tough, it's more related to something uncomfortable and less related to something comfortable, right? So this means when you're entering into a conversation or talking about a topic that you don't want to talk about. So that's when you'd say, I know what it's like to have a tough conversation. Well, that's the end of my tip, and I'm going to give it over to Hridhaan to start our Q&A, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, there we have.
Certainly. Certainly, please. Thank you very much, Michelle. The next important point that we're going to be starting is called Your Questions and Answers. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just quickly recap what we have done. In the first point, we spoke about Michelle's journey, Hridhaan's journey. In the second point, we spoke about 5 interesting tricks and tips and hacks that you can make use of about remembering words. And then finally, now we're going to be talking about your questions and our answers. So we're going to be pulling out comments from the comment section below, and we're going to be making sure that we answer your question in the best capacity, in our best little capacity possible. So let's just get started. Let's add as many interesting questions as possible. Okay, so we have many
the
comments
first
coming in
one.
already.
Yeah, and I think I want to
Okay.
take this one since I talked about this
Please.
point. Hi, Surinder Sharma. Thank you so much for writing to us. And yeah, it's quite possible that you took the screenshot, but you can't remember. I'd say that the main reason for that is because you didn't go back and look at them. Yeah. So it's important to go back and look at those words. I'd also give you another tip. So if you've already taken a screenshot of the phrase, what you could also do is take a screenshot of the meaning when you search it on Google, and then you have both of them in your vocab. And that way you will remember the word, but do remember to go back and see your word again. Yeah, so that's my answer. Let's look at the next one.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Michelle. Thank you, man, for the question. The next question by software engineer Shubham Patil is, how to get appropriate words while talking to unknown people? How do I remember exact phrases for particular situations? I think, Michelle, this particular question takes us to the very juice of the session today, and that is understanding and making sure that the vocabulary that we learn belongs to a context and not just any word that's out there right in front of us. So make sure whenever you're choosing a word, you give it a category. You give it a word family. It's one of the important, interesting games that we call it. Giving it a word family. For example, if the word is groan, give it a situation. Groan was primarily for a situation when you're complaining. For example, a child goes to the PTM with mama, the child's mom, to the school, and all the teachers are complaining, and the child's like, I want to be out of here. I want to be out of here. So the talking style that the child has is groan. And I think it's very important, Shubham, that whenever you're learning a word, building a situation around it, giving it a context, because that is something that it helps to understand the words for a longer duration of time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Michelle,
think
would
a
you
couple
like to
of
take
people
this one?
are asking us, yeah, about books to read. Well, you can read a lot. I'd say that pick up your favorite genre, read about the fields that you're interested in. Like for me, I love to read about mysteries. So, Sherlock Holmes is a good place to start. Or if you want to read about any particular genre, then you need to think about what you like and look for books there. But I think we've mentioned this earlier that a really good book to start learning grammar or practicing grammar would be Raymond Murphy, because it allows you to learn vocabulary in context. It's theme based and you get to do a lot of practice. So, yeah, I think that's a good way to improve your grammar and also enjoy reading. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Thank you for the answer, Michelle. Next question that we have is by Swati Sharma. And Swati Sharma asks, how to be confident while speaking? Michelle, would you like to, or should I?
Yes, I think confidence has to do a lot more with your personality than your speaking skills. You could be a great communicator, but you could still be nervous. So I'd say that work on yourself, basically to overcome your hesitation, which means to practice speaking in public by probably starting with two people, getting to talk to people individually, then gradually increasing your group and making sure that you use English as your medium of communication. Because if you only jump into English on certain days and don't speak it the other days, then you'll definitely be more nervous. So, yeah, I'd say that practice English more, try and speak to other people, usually in English instead of your first language. Yeah.
Certainly, certainly.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Michelle.
Yeah, we have another question by Vinay. So, would you like to take it up?
Certainly, please. And Vinay, we are very happy to see you. Michelle, I'd like to tell you that Vinay Chowdhury just finished a course today in the morning with Hridhaan, with me. It was an
Uh
advanced
huh.
English communication course. We had a good meeting in the
Fantastic.
morning, and we're very happy to see you back again. Vinay, thank you for the question. The question is it possible to correlate a word meaning with funny situations to remember it? I think the answer to this question from my end would be why not? Absolutely. I think it totally depends on the situation. It totally depends on your personal choices as well. For example, some people are very, very positive individuals. They don't want to talk about, for example, I'll go back to the previous example once again, just to correlate that with current situation. Grown. Although this word has a bit of a negative connotation, but you can actually correlate it with a funny situation. A child asking and begging to his mother to go to the next to actually leave the school on the day of PTM is nothing but a humorous experience when you look back at in hindsight, because these circumstances have happened with all of us. Well, thankfully, I had I had good teachers, so not a lot of complaints on my end. I was a good one myself. So yeah, there's that. I think you can definitely choose to connect it with humorous situations, serious situations, positive situations, negative situations, whichever makes it comfortable for you to remember them. Yes, so
Yeah, and I think
there's
I want
your
to
answer.
add here that if you want to join any of our courses at Let's Talk, you'll find the link in the description, because Hridhaan has been talking about it so much, and I'm wondering if it's gotten some people curious. So if you're really curious about it, then you've got the link in the description, which you can check out at the end of our session today. Yeah. Yeah, let's look at some more interesting comments. How to stop stammering in between. Thank you, Swar, for your comment. So, stammering could be a problem related to your speech. So, if you think it's a sort of speech issue, then maybe you might see a speech therapist who can give you a better solution to your problem. However, if it is something related to your confidence, then, like I said earlier, you need to think about some ways to be more confident. By trying to speak in English more to new people, and trying to speak to people at large in large audience as much as possible whenever you can in English. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. The next question, thank you very much for your answer, Michelle. The next question is from Shoaib Ali, who says, "How to avoid saying nah?" The moment the question popped up, I had a barrel of laugh. As Indians say "nah" without any meaning, so it comes in my
Yeah.
English naturally in between. There are a lot of
This is
participants on
interesting.
current courses. Yeah. Michelle, I think you'd be able to relate to this question. I think it happens
Yeah.
to us day in and day out. People have words like
Yeah.
"to." to, matlab, na, ki, all of these words keep on going on
Yeah,
all the
Hindi
time.
words basically. It
Hindi
could be
words.
actually with somebody who's got another language as their first language. They could struggle with this problem by using some fillers from their first language. So my advice would be replace it with an English filler. So every time you say na or any other filler in your first language, think of an English filler and consciously, which means think about it every time, purposefully make an attempt to not say it. So I'd say pick up something
Exactly.
like anyway or well, or like, or any of the fillers that you feel comfortable with. A lot of people say, I think I do that a lot. So yeah, that's my filler, which helps me replace some of my first language fillers. And I think you could try that as well. Use some fillers in English. We've got some videos on that, which you can look up at our channel and use them to replace your first language fillers. Yes.
Certainly, certainly. I think we talk a lot about it on the
Yeah.
Advanced English Communication course, level one and level two, most important. Level one, most importantly, wherein we have a session that particularly caters to how to avoid fillers. We have the next question by Shivani Patil. Shivani says, "Hi Shivani, good to see your question. How to be calm while speaking like you?" I think this kind
Which
of
of us?
which
Both of
I
us.
think this question takes me to the first tip that Michelle you had rendered, and that was it's more to do with the personality, and
Yes.
rather than just the communication skills. I think each one of us, Shivani, thank you very much for the question again. I think each one of us go through those moments of trepidation and excitement, and I think it's very important for us to find the peace within us, most importantly. And that has to do a lot with taking as many challenges that you've always had fears for and ghosts for. So it's very important that we always try to find a balance. And as Michelle said in the foregone statement, make an attempt to be, to replace certain words, to be calm, and to take as many challenges as possible, face as many fears that we have in relation to public speaking, etc., etc. People a lot of times have fears related to grammar. They say my grammatical knowledge isn't as vast. What if somebody finds me fumbling? What if somebody finds an error in my communication skills? It's all okay. It's very important for us to understand that if you make a mistake, it's okay. It's
Yeah.
absolutely all right. All we have to do is learn from it and consciously, I'm going to repeat that golden word that was put forth, consciously put an effort to do away with it. Next question, Michelle,
Yeah.
seems like it's for you.
Yeah, so this is again by Tejas Goel, I guess. He, I think, teaches French, and he has a question about his speaking skills. So he struggles with speaking, but is good at writing, which is interesting because I've seen that most people are actually good at speaking and not so good at writing, especially when it comes to IELTS, which a lot of you are posting about. So, yeah, so for speaking, I think the best thing would be to start communicating in English, because if you don't speak, you don't learn. Because you can read 1,000 books, go through 1,000 grammar books, but you would need to start speaking. And you also need a good teacher. So, which I think you should keep watching our videos, keep noting down stuff, and try to use it outside in your personal life. As well as, if you'd like, you can join one of our courses, which can help you, because you need to be in a proper classroom environment as well, so that your teacher can correct you when you make mistakes, and also fill you in with
Right.
some vocab. Yeah, but then I think you'd need to make an opportunity to speak more of English wherever you can. Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
The next question is by Divya Patil. She says, it's hard to follow timetables, so can you more elaborate it? I'm on intermediate, so can you tell us how to manage it? It's possible to go to intermediate level to expert IELTS level, and how in 4 months. Oh, such an important question. Divya, thank you very much for your question. I think it is a very, very important question. A lot of times people actually worry about their levels, and they want to, of course, because it helps them with a great deal of confidence as well, helping them understand what level they used to be before and what level they have to go to. And a lot of times people tend to say that they want to jump onto the C2 level, which is the advanced level of communication skills. Divya, I think my tip to you would be do not worry about your level at this stage if you're especially at intermediate level. I'd like you to please continue strengthening and consolidating your confidence in language. Two things in language: your confidence and your accuracy. And everything will be in place automatically. What is the meaning of fluency? Fluency means being really, really confident in the way you speak, especially when it comes to fluency and not doing mm, mm, not fumbling a lot. So making sure that you're working on your fluency by not fumbling a lot. And how do you do that? Again, consciously making an intent for that. Another important
Yeah.
thing, by making sure that you're speaking correct English. And for that, sometimes a lot of books help you. Sometimes a lot of external help from a tutor helps you by joining certain courses. So make sure that at the moment you speak English daily and you're focusing on your fluency and you're focusing on your accuracy. And in no time, you'll see that you're not just advanced, but you're competing with people who are at advanced level of their communication skills. So make sure that you speak fluently and accurately. So there's my tip for you.
Yes, and here we have Kushi. Kushi's come up with a good question, which is more pertaining to the language side of our conversation, which is what's the meaning of sorta? Sorta means sort of, which means I sort of like Michelle, which means maybe not too much, but I like her a little bit. So sorta is basically sort of, which is a little bit like I got to do this, which I would say I got to do this. So this is more like connected speech. So when you're speaking, you connect words and that way you sound more fluent. This is one aspect of fluent English. And if you want to speak English fluently, then you also need to add such phrases into your communication like sorta, gotta, and many more. Yeah. So that's my answer for you, Kushi. I hope that helps. Yeah.
Seems like the next question again is for you. Please go ahead, Michelle.
Sure. So Vinu has to say that how do I avoid hesitation feeling while speaking? And okay, okay. So yeah, you want to reply immediately and you feel hesitant. So the clear idea is you need to have more of English. You need to have more of verbs. You need to add a few fillers wherever you can so that what happens is when somebody asks me a question, I generally take about 30 seconds or maybe 10 seconds to process what they said, and that's the gap which you need to fill, which everybody takes. So you would probably use a filler like I said earlier, well, if you have to ask me. So for example, if somebody asks me a question, I'd first say, well, if you ask me, I'd say, and that took me about 7 to 8 seconds. And I will use that time to think of my answer, but also fill the gap, the awkward silence. So, yeah, I think this can help you overcome your feeling of nervousness or the gaps that you take when you're answering questions. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
The next
Sure.
question is by Shiva. Shiva says, I think a very important question: how to become fluent English speakers when no one is near, when no one around you speaks English? Well, thank you very much, Shiva, for this very, very important question. I must say, this is not just the case with just a few people. It's actually it applies to a lot of people, because a lot of
Mm.
people I've had this question. I'm sure Michelle as well have had this question the most in our career. When no one's around us, how to focus on communication skills then? Well, there are two types of learners: receptive learners, people who learn from outside, and productive learners, basically learning from within. Production skills basically depend on speaking, when you're speaking or writing something. So if you do not have anybody, I'd like to recommend you to write as much as possible. And when you write something, recite it in front of the mirror, because that will also give you, writing component will be taken care of, and reciting that in front of the mirror will help you with the production of that skill, with the verbal language, as a matter of fact. So there's that. And I think another important thing that you can do is you can listen to as many things as you'd like, such as songs, such as movies, for that matter, movies in English. And besides that, you could read articles as well. All of these four components: speaking, listening, writing, and reading, basically help us get better at communication skills, especially when we are alone. If you do not have anybody, become your own best friend. Go in front of the mirror, just start speaking like a pathological person, because you would then realize how important elements it adds to your personality, because you won't be able to only work on your communication skills, but the way you're standing, your hand movements, your facial expressions, all of that comes in picture, and that helps you to work on your communication skills in
Yeah,
an
we've
all-rounded
got
manner.
Thank you. I think that was quite helpful. Yeah, and a good insight into how we can improve our overall presentation skills along with our speaking skills, which I think
Certainly.
goes hand in hand. Yeah, we
Certainly.
have Raji Priya asking an interesting question, and we've done a lot of videos on confusing words. I've done a lot of them personally. Affect and effect. Yeah. Now, since you want us to explain that, it would be more like effect is sort of the result of something, and effect is what causes it. So, for example, I could say, I've been affected by his behavior, which means I felt bad because of the way somebody behaved. Or if I want to
Emotions.
talk about the result, yeah, if I want to talk about the result, I could say Corona has had a terrible effect on the world mortality rate. So where I'm talking about people around the world are
Result.
sort of dying because of COVID. So yeah, that's the result, and effect would be what caused it. I hope that's easy to understand. If not, then go to one of our videos and get a proper explanation. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Here's Kushi again. Michelle, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. So she says that she doesn't understand native speakers. And the word meaning I knew, but someone say, then I forget the me. So you know what? So if they say a word, you probably know a word, and then when someone says it, you don't remember the meaning. That's likely to happen because you need to read the words over and over again, which you've noted down, so that you can remember them. In order to remember them, you need to read the words over and over again. And if you don't understand native speakers, you need to listen to them more. And with time, you will get acquainted with their accent, because native speakers around the world have got different accents in different places. So you need to get acquainted with different accents. And the best way to do it is to watch movies, watch shows, or probably listen to news in English. And that's going to help you understand native speakers better. So that's what I think will work out for you. Yeah. Do you want to take the next one on, Hridhaan?
Certainly. Certainly, please. Thank you very
Yeah.
much for your answer. For the previous one, Abhilasha Pandey says, any personality development tip for students? Thank you for the question, Abhilasha. I think I think when I read your question, the first thing that came to my mind was becoming better listeners. Most importantly, and making sure that you catch hold of any and every opportunity when it comes to speaking on something, making use of that opportunity, and making sure that you work on your fear to do away with a lot of insecurities that people have had. So I think becoming good listeners is very, very important, and making sure that whatever opportunity knocks your way, which allows you to speak, do not let loose that opportunity. Do not unleash that off your hand. Make sure that you take hold of it and shine like a star. This is what I like to say.
Of course. I think this is something. The next one we have is by Sondhare, if that's how you say your name. I think it's more related to what you said earlier about speaking in the mirror and practicing yourself. So, would you like to answer him a little bit?
Certainly, please. So Soundarya says, mirror is a good way, but will it work? Will it be different to speak to someone else, and how can we improve it? Please answer. Can you make a video that works? And okay, thank you very much, Soundarya. This is a very important question. I think I would like to answer this question from my personal experience, Soundarya. I was somebody who always had that craze about speaking in the most immaculate manner, as I've spoken about it short while in the beginning of the video. And one of the most important and striking features of particularly focusing on speaking in front of the mirror was that it really helped me gain that sense of confidence. Whenever I was standing in front of people and I was talking to them, I had that I had the feeling that I'm already quite prepared as to what exactly I have to say and I have to say and the delivery of it. and the hand movement, etc., and the way I've got to stand. I think all of that really helped me have that, essentially that sort of confidence that people generally lack. So of course it's going to be different because now you're going to be in real life situation when you're talking to real people, then talking in front of the mirror and talking to yourself. But it is a very good practice, especially when you do not have anybody. It's good to attempt to do something than do nothing at all. So I think when you do not have anything, mirror is your best friend to go ahead. On this note, I'd like to also reiterate once again, if because many people seem to be quite interested in joining the courses, as I see in the comment section right here. If you're interested in joining any of the online communication courses that we have, please do click in the description below, a link in the description below, and that'll take you to the right courses that we have on Let's Talk. Thank you.
Yes. Please do join us there.
Certainly. I think this kind of brings us towards the end of today's discussion, and a very enriching, fruitful discussion that we've had.
Yeah.
Just a little message to everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your support and joining the live session. Happy learning. We'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Let's Talk team who helped us connect each other during this pandemic time together and make this session a successful one, most importantly. We really hope from the core of our soul that you enjoyed this session. And Michelle, any final words from your end, please?
Yeah, I just want to thank you all for joining us, and I hope it was a learning session for you. If you learned something interesting, make note of it. Remember to recycle vocabulary, that'll help you learn it. And I think I'm going to come live again very soon with you all and have another interesting session. So thank you so much. Stay tuned and keep watching our videos because that's where you learn along with us. Do make sure you're watching LearnX, Let's Talk, and Skillopedia because we keep coming with interesting content that can help you develop not just your language skills, but also your personality overall. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us and join our courses. And yes, well, this is saying a very goodbye to you all. Thank you and have a wonderful time ahead. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. Lots of love. Take good care of yourself, good health, and lots of positive energy to you all. Bye-bye, and take care.